A letter from Paul to the young church in Corinth. Dear church, I did not come among you proclaiming the gospel in lofty words or even wisdom. I decided to know nothing among you except Christ and Him crucified. In other words, when I spent time with you, I chose to know about nothing other than God. And I chose to know God murdered, God tortured to death, God humiliated, God defeated. I chose to know and proclaim a crucified God. Now, the things that I had to say to you back in those days, the things that I repeat to you now, they are not plausible. Not with words, at least. There's no wisdom, no common sense that could make a crucified God coherent. Who would want to follow a God who had lost and who had lost badly, who lost at everything? The only thing that could make a God like that make sense, that could make a crucified God make sense, is the Spirit. And friends, the Spirit has showed up among us, hasn't she? Sometimes when I was with you and we were hanging out late at night around the campfire, we did speak wisdom to each other. You remember that. And sometimes as we've written back and forth to one another since, we have spoken wisdom. But it's never been a wisdom that belongs to the king, nor a wisdom that belongs to the rich, nor to the S&P 500, nor to Congress, nor to Jeff Bezos. Not to any kind of winner. We spoke of God's wisdom, which was totally different. We spoke of a wisdom that is secret, that is hidden. Nobody in charge could see it. Remember how Jesus said that it was easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter into the kingdom of God. The rich, most of the time, they can't even see the kingdom. It looks foolish to them. If they understood, they never would have built the cross. They never would have set up the electric chair. They never would have let anyone sleep out on the street. They never would have let anyone wonder where their next meal was coming from. They never would have beaten a man pulled over for a traffic stop. They never would have let anyone be forced into a choice between food and health care. They don't understand. I don't know that we understood when I was with you. I don't know that we understand right now, that anyone can really understand. But we caught a glimpse. We're catching a glimpse through a glass darkly. No human eye has seen, no human ear has heard what God has gotten ready for who? What God has gotten ready for those who love God. The love that we have glimpsed, we've glimpsed it through the work of the Spirit which searches everything, and here comes the paradox, which even searches God. How is that possible? When we forget that God is crucified, we forget what it means to be human. This is why Jesus came. This is why Jesus humbled himself even to death on a cross. He did it to show us what God is like, yes. But even more than that, he did it to show us what being human is like, so that we can see what it is like when someone is fully human all the time. When we really get this stuff, and there are fleeting moments when we really get it, aren't there? It changes us. We're kinder. Love is closer at hand. Joy is closer at hand. Grace is closer at hand. We are more free. The more that I think about this work of following Jesus, the more foolish it seems, and the more wonderful it seems. Sometimes when the door-to-door religion peddlers come to your house, they will knock on the door and ask, "Have you found Jesus?" It's a good question, I guess, but here is the truth. Jesus was never lost. The crucified God was never lost. We see Jesus when we visit the hospital or the hospice and we look into the eyes of the one lying in the bed. We see Jesus when we welcome the stranger. We see Jesus when we show up for the hurting or the searching. We see Jesus when we visit the prisoner. We see Jesus when we serve the poor. Jesus was never lost. He never needed finding. God is not somewhere else. To know this, to see this, however fleetingly, this is to have the mind of Christ. So I guess what I'm saying to you, church, is go. Go proclaim the crucified God. Go serve the crucified God. Go stand at the foot of the cross and be changed. Know that I pray for you and say thanks be to God for you. I hope to make it back to Corinth again one of these times. In the meantime, I send you my love. Oh, and Timothy says hi. Yours truly, Paul.